up, everybody? Sorry about the technical difficulties. I think we're all fixed. And what's up? This is the Ground Stable. I'm your host, Jesse Pippinell, and as always, my partner in crime.
John Jacobs.
Thank you so much, and a happy Wednesday to you all. And again, sorry for the technical difficulties, but that is the internet. That is everything we're facing nowadays. So it is what it is. But today we are going to talk about something unlike the internet, something that is timeless, something that only ages like wine, in my opinion. We are going to jump back into our conversation about The Sopranos. John has just recently got done with his very first watch of The Sopranos. And, well, obviously, we can't just do one simple show of The Sopranos because, well, I mean, there is just so much to it. I mean, last week we barely scratched the surface. I had to introduce John to duck posting, which is basically shit posting memes on that page. And John, and after a week of being a part of that page, it doesn't disappoint.
It doesn't. I fully admit that I haven't given it the attention it deserves yet. I've just been kind of busy, but everything that I've seen has been hilarious. I'm trying to think of one that I can contribute. Whether it's like a created thing or something. So like what I was thinking is, like one of my favorite viral videos of all time is a video from way before viral videos were even a thing. It was when Gotti went to jail and they were interviewing people on the street. And that one guy was like, he's the best guy around. And they're like, well, what about all the people he murdered? He's like, what murder?
Oh, that would fly.
No. So I'm just trying to think of a clever way to craft that into a meme because you really have to see the video. And I don't just want to post the video and be like, if they interviewed me about Tony dying or something, like that's lame. Like I want to be able to take that, but create a great meme about
it. Let me show you how. I mean, I have a meme pulled up. I want you to see like how weird this page gets. Like you've only been on it for a little bit of time.
So full disclosure, though, I am in some other shit posting groups, one of which is a Star Trek shit posting group, and there are some epic fucking memes that come out of that group. Yeah. So I'm definitely aware of what groups like that can do.
Yeah, like they get like like they get this niche. They get this ridiculous.
That's exactly how you and I felt, though. 100%.
Oh my god,
we were crying in that third movie, man. Like
we were bawling our eyes out. That was a hard movie to get through. It was good. It was like, but yeah. Oh, it gets really like right now they're doing Muppets Christmas sometimes, which they do every year. Where like, okay, if you're not familiar with this, on Disney Plus, there is a version of Muppets Christmas in the special features, and it's the whole movie with a lost scene of a song that they cut in the original movie put back in. And then they have the one scene where it's the Christopher Columbus one where he goes, listen, in this house we watched the special feature Muppets Christmas edition on Disney Plus with the added song. End of discussion.
This is a giant house.
Yeah. So believe me, it gets super niche. There's times where I'm even on that page and I'm like, what is this referencing? And I'm pretty fluent with pop culture. And there's times where it gets so much into this. So yeah, no, I would post it. If you get the video, you get like, you could do that.
But I want to do better. Like if I'm gonna post in a shit posting group, it's got to be top tier. If that means I need some time to put it together, then that's what I'm gonna do. So
like the one I recently posted, I was so proud of. It was for Halloween. Like I said, it was Jamie Lee Curtis when she has to drop off the papers at the Myers house. But then it cuts to Phil in that little house thing. Like, take a cocksucker, get out of here. And it's so stupid. It's so dumb.
There's definitely a Tom Cruise is trapped in the closet joke there too when Phil pops out of the closet to kill Vito.
Definitely do that.
Yeah, like I was thinking about that too. I'm like, there's definitely trapped in the closet jokes here. So yeah, like I got a few in mind. I've just got to sit down and really like put it together, you know.
Bottom line is, it's so funny how many news stories that have been broken to me because of The Sopranos. It is ridiculously hilarious. Like the whole last week with the whole, now it's been somewhat debunked because it's not the Bubba, it's a Bubba at this rate. But the whole Trump thing and all that stuff, like it was all the veto posts. It was all the, hey, I'm good now. I took the Tylenol medicine, messed with my head.
I took the Tylenol.
Yeah, like so. It was so, and it was so funny when I realized that you finally watched Sopranos. I actually sent a meme to somebody else, or I might have put it in the comments of the post you had. I said my estimation of John as a man has finally went up.
Nice.
Like it's so crazy how goofy it is. They could fit everything in, but anyways. That's why it's still fun to talk about Sopranos. That's why like I said, it was a revolutionary show for its time. It really taught us the rules to watching a show with an anti-hero. And like I said, this didn't pull any punches. And David Chase did such a good job at going, okay, if this is a mob show, it's a mob show. Yeah, and these aren't gonna be characters you're gonna love all the time. They're going to be characters that are going to do some heinous fucking shit. You know what I mean?
But some of them I do love, regardless of.
I love them. I love them. Let me put it this way: my measurement for love for these characters is who I would least likely hang out with versus hang out with. Let me tell you something. I would be at Satriel's every single day of my life.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely.
Like, dude, the one episode they're decorating for Christmas, like. Who wouldn't want to be there? You know what I mean? Like, even here's how fun it is to be at Satriel's. Even the FBI agent Harris hangs down there like that.
Yeah.
Like, if you ever watched a mob movie where the FBI agents who are trying to get you are also hanging out at your place because you can make a mean parm sandwich.
And everybody's friendly. Like, they're just like, oh, hey, Tony, oh, hey, how's it going? How's that thing going? Oh, yeah, pretty.
The only person that got it.
It's just like, Jesus Christ.
The only two people who ever got it at Satriel's was email, or as Chris would put it, as email, and then Fat Dominic, who ran his mouth about veto, and then Sylv and Patsy were like, none of this. And they just stabbed him right there.
I forgot about him, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
There's so many, like... I know there's several of these moments we're going to talk about, but yeah, I would be there every night if I was a mobster, and I wouldn't even order off the menu. I just make Artie make me what you feel like making me. Like, I don't even need to order. Just bring me a 3-course meal, and I'm sure it's going to be the best thing I've ever eaten.
Now, since we could segue into kind of what we wanted to talk about, but because it's the internet, we have to be careful what words we use. And I've been trying to I want to talk about unaliving scenes, like the scenes, like the best, death scenes in the show. So I'm like trying to get around it, but also make it mobster like. I fucked up and I made this tagline, which we should not use this, but now it's up on the screen, so it's too late. But this, and just so people know, when I wrote this,
I mean, that could mean a couple of things.
It can mean a lot of things. At 1 a.m., I meant this to be when the mobster, takes a hit out on somebody. But at 1 a.m., this also can mean entirely a different thing elsewhere. Mm-hmm. So we're not going to use that. So we're going to call it the best unalive scenes, or the best gets it scenes. Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it, because like I want to stay true to the mobs and all that stuff without sounding too soft by saying unalive and stuff like that.
Sure.
All right, so let's talk about the Sopranos best gets it scenes. Do you have any personal favorites that you just love? Like, is there a scene where somebody gets it and you're just like, this has been a long time coming. I needed this.
My first favorite one is when my keyboard's screwing up and I can't see any of the keys because it's a backlit, and I've been trying to fix it. I don't fucking know what the problem is.
I'll start until you're able to get that taken care of.
Hold on. Okay, so my favorite one was when Tony killed the rat on the college trip with Meadow, because the kill was awesome. Like that dude knew. He knew he was in the bushes or something. He knew he was there, and Tony just came up and did it old school, man, with the fucking electrical wires. And then I really liked when he's in the car with Meadow and she like knows something went down
Oh,
and
yeah,
he's just
yeah,
straight
yeah, yeah.
lying to her. And then they just like kind of cut down and you see like all the mud on his shoes. I thought that was really, really well done. I also very much enjoyed when Phil finally got his head popped off. It's like I kept going back. Like, I liked Phil, and then I didn't like Phil. Like I liked Phil when he wasn't fucking with Tony's crew, but when he was fucking with Tony's crew, I'm just like, who
I
is
love
this
Phil for
guy?
that.
Like, what are you doing?
Phil was like a cool guy when he wanted to be a cool guy, and then when he wanted to be a fucking dick, he was so good at being a fucking dick. Like I love that scene where he gets it because the editing again. I talked about this last week. It's so perfect because what happens is he goes pop pop go bye bye pop pop go bye bye and then pop pop go bye bye and I was like
right in front of the kid,
oh
man.
my
God,
right
in front of the kid.
That is so.
Now, another
and then,
one,
and then add insult to injury.
So another one that I liked was when Puss got it. The reason I liked it was because that was emotional for all of them. I mean, he was family, and he betrayed them for like over a year and caused problems that reverberated throughout the rest of the series. And the fact that he knew, like, I feel like when he got on the boat, Puss knew, but he was just in denial. But once they were down in the hull and stuff, like he knew, and he asked. He was like, "Just don't shoot me in the face, please." I thought that was so good because they could have tortured him and given him a horrible death because he was a rat. He betrayed all of them. He was a traitor. He caused them so much problem. If that wasn't Puss, like let's say that was fucking Ralphie, they would have tortured the shit out of him to finally then kill him. But because it was Puss, they did a mercy kill on him. I liked that. I also liked the scene where they unalived the kid that that tried to kill Chris to gain favor with Richie. Because he's just like lying the whole time. I didn't do it, Tony. Bullshit, motherfucker. You were there. You shot. Like, you were just as guilty. But he's like begging for his life. He's like crying, and Tony's just not having any of it. He gives him the drink, and then he makes fun of him for ordering the sugar-free drink. And he's like, that's the last fucking drink you're going to have. And they just, bam, one in the heart. Done. Yeah. So, you know, it's like I liked those scenes because I felt like Tony was being like he was being more human to the degree that he's like, we just need to put this fucker down and move on. It wasn't like something where they had to like go out of their way and torture him. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what made Tony such an interesting character. Is
Tony didn't torture people when he killed them. When Tony killed somebody, it was a kill and move on. He didn't torture people
because he was a mobster with a conscience,
right?
And those are two things, and he even admits it. Those should never go together. They can't go together because it fucks up the way you're able to do things. But there are so many beautiful moments where his conscience gets in the way of him being a good mobster, and he makes dumb, stupid mistakes, and and some of them are good mistakes, some of them are bad mistakes. Bad mistake number one being giving the mother the plane tickets, which could have got him indicted. And then a good mistake, which you're happy for, is when he let I'm blanking on his name, Artie, off on the debt, which was
which he never does, dude.
Never does. And
I mean, look what he did to Davey, man. He wiped Davey the fuck out, dude. Just straight wiped him out.
And I love in that scene where he admits to Davey, like, here's why I didn't want you to do it. Not because you're my friend, because I saw you were a big fish, and I didn't I knew what I was going to do to you if you joined. Yep. There is a certain piece to Tony's nature. Like, he knows.
And Davey didn't listen. He didn't listen at all. He thought that just because they grew up together that they were going to be fine. And it's like, no, bro, your life's getting ruined every fucking step of the way, man. What are you thinking?
my favorite add insult to injury is like after all of it goes down, like after every possible fucking thing has gone bad with Davey, the one uncle's like talking to somebody was like, "Thank God the store is in my wife's name," and I'm like, "Oh, oh my God!" And you're just like, "No,
Nobody was in poor Davey's corner, man. Nobody.
no,
No sympathy for the T1000, man. None.
no."
Literally none.
No, but I'll tell you what. Another thing about this show that is really good is the complicated death scenes. The death scenes that make you think. There is one death scene where I've watched it a few different times because I've seen the show a few times, and I always walk away with a different opinion of it. Now I want to see what you think because this is your first time watching. Why do you think he killed Chris?
That's actually really good. Do we want to? I'll tell you what. Do you want to finish the best and move on to the other death topic, like the ones like we could talk about the ones we didn't like, or if you want, let's just talk about interesting ones or
Well,
ones
I
that.
think it's a great kill because I think it reveals so much about.
Okay, so I don't. Okay, I think I'm struggling with labeling it because there's a lot to it. Okay.
Okay, are you asking for like you want the fuck yeah that about time that guy gets it?
Yeah, like I just didn't know if we were ready to talk depth about something because I've got a lot to say about the whole Chris thing. So
Okay,
I
okay.
just
Well,
didn't
how
know
about
if
this?
we were
Let's
done
put
with
that on
this
the back
topic
burner.
or
Let's put that on the back burner, and then we'll bring it back up when we talk about Chris.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So another amazing another death that just that like I said I don't want to say it's the best. It's one of the best deaths because but it's a death that broke me. It was
Well, is this best or is this should be for ones we didn't like?
well. Here's the thing. When I'm thinking best, I'm thinking like a good. I'm thinking of two different things: a death that's like "fuck yeah, we got him," or
Mhm.
"oh shit, this is gut wrenching. This got me. This was
I
well
think
put
those should be
together.
a separate topic.
This death scene really kind of wrecked me, and I hate how much it wrecked
Okay, I'll
me."
tell you what. Do one more best. I'll do one more best, and then we'll move into that topic
We'll
where
do
we
the
can talk
wrecking
more
ones. Okay,
heavily about a couple of the deaths.
okay.
Yeah. So what's your last
I,
best? Best.
okay. Let's see. Again, like I said, fuck. Because I changed topics. So I'm trying to think of.
Well, I'll do mine, and then that might inspire you on
yours.
the last one. So my last one, I actually talked about this, I believe, in last episode, but I don't even remember her name because she was just a part of the New York crew, and it was that girl. I forget her name. What was her name? Oh, God, can't remember her name. She had that little mini crew with her, and
yeah. She was trying to
they
move.
changed up the payments, and so she's all acting hard, going into the bar, acting like she's a boss and getting the money, no sympathy, being a hard ass, da da da. And then they're like, "Look, this shit's changed, and this is your date. Have the money or not." And she's just like, "Okay," and she doesn't have the money, and they rough her up, and she acts like a total bitch, like. She is crying and whining and scared, and it's like, oh, well, now when you're not the one in power, you don't have all this "I'm the best" type attitude. Now you're worried. And then she still didn't pay. So they went to her house, waited for her to get out of her shower, derobed her, and then watched her crawl on the floor naked, begging for her life before they put multiple bullets into her. I thought that was great because it's like nobody cares about this character. She's in 2 episodes, I think, not really relevant to anything. It's just to show an expanded view of what's happening. But I just thought that was so great. It reminded me of Us, where we introduce characters and kill characters in the same episode or a couple episodes.
Yeah.
And so I liked that because it was another glimpse into even the people who are captains or someone who's in a leadership position, they fuck up, they're still going to get dealt with just like the pond scum at the bottom's going to. And she thought she was all hard until she wasn't, and then they shot her ass. And like, I thought that was great. To me, that really built on a lot of things. So I actually liked that a lot.
That was a good one. I loved the Coco's death. He's a minor character. It's the guy Tony curb stomps at.
Oh yeah, dude!
Yeah,
the
one guy with the lazy guy's like, "Hey, You do this, you ain't going back. And he goes, pow! And I'm like,
gets him.
And I'm like, that's what happens when you mess with a man's daughter. That's what happens. That's what happens right there.
I mean, Daddy deserved it. He walked in there and talked about like shit on her mouth, and so like, bro, how are you gonna roll up and talk to Tony Soprano's daughter that way and think nothing is going to happen to you?
Yeah.
Like that's insane to me that guy had that much confidence and was that much of a fucking moron that he thought he was actually going to get away with that. No, bro, you're done.
Because Philly has built Tony Soprano's crew up as I quote, a glorified crew. They never viewed New Jersey as a real part of the mob because they think you're either you're New York or nothing. That's the way it is. You're New York or nothing.
And I do get that. I 100%
Philly
get that.
carries himself that way. Philly carries himself to that nature. But yeah, no, that death scene like is a moment of okay, because not only are you killing this guy and you're going to war, but you're bringing everybody behind you to that war.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it. I mean that means because the consequences of that death lead to Bobby's death, leads to Silvio becoming a vegetable. It leads to a lot of fucking shit in the coming episodes. And it's a big moment. It's a very big moment of there's no going back because you don't kill a made man. You don't. And Tony kills a made man.
He did. But I feel like he was the boss and there was a good reason, right?
Oh yeah. But it lets you know that how important family is to Tony. Because like anytime he's killed a made man in the show, it's always off script. It's always either away from people of power, nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's covered up because Tony breaks out of all the rules that Tony breaks. He breaks that rule like left and right.
I don't think I can ever recall where Tony asked permission or pleaded a case as to why he needed to kill a made man. He just fucking did it.
Never. I think the closest he ever got to the only time he ever asked permission to kill somebody, the only time was when they killed the rat in the first season, when the one that kept over asking questions, and it was like, and then he looks at his uncle, and they're like, "Yeah, he's the fucking rat gun."
He
said it's that moment where he's untying his shoes, and the guy comes up behind him with a gun while he's in the like that's the only time I think Tony functioned in the proper HR procedures.
Yeah, right. He followed the process.
Like that's what every other time he's killed. He has indirectly got someone killed, and I will include Janice as indirectly, just because I'm like, why would you date Janice? Why like that is because Janice is such a product of the mob in a way. Because
I don't understand why all these people want to sleep with Janice.
I don't
understand.
But here's the thing. She is such a product of the mob because everything she does it with no consequences. The first time she ever gets bucked with a little bit of consequences is when she steals the woman's leg. Like that's I mean, like, but like that's how she is. I mean, look at it like this. It is widely known that Ralphie killed a stripper. Okay.
Yeah.
And Janice threw him down the stairs.
She did.
Like, and she expected no repercussions from that because that's who she is. Her father was Big John. Her uncle is Junior. Tony is now the underboss. What are you going to do to her? Like, that's the energy she carries. Yeah,
I will also say, giving credit where credit's due, Janice did take beatings well. It usually resulted in somebody dying, but Janice could take some shots to the face and keep going. So I will give her credit for that.
The only person that
Richie beat the shit out of her, and she still mustered up enough strength to shoot his ass. So
yeah,
I mean,
Richie was the only one that really laid hands on her, but no one else did. Nothing. Richie, the reason why Richie felt like he could do what he did was because his brother was over Tony and Junior at one point. That's why he feels that he could do that. You know what I mean?
Well, you're wrong, Richie, because look where that got you.
Yeah, exactly. Richie made Richie made a lot of miscalculations. Like
He did.
he,
And I still think that even though the kids said they did everything for Richie, when they tried to kill Chris and then Richie acted the way they did, I still think there was a piece of that where he was like happy that they did it. Like,
oh yeah,
he wasn't angry that they did it. He was angry in the way it happened and that they didn't kill him.
he did no. He just didn't want it on his front porch. That's all.
Right.
He just doesn't
He
want it on
was
his front porch.
still
Like,
totally okay with it.
Don't come to me and expect me to help you. Don't bring this shit over here. Because I mean, look at Tony in the episode with Johnny Sack and Philly were fighting, right? At one point, they were both fighting back and forth, and Chris was told to shut the fuck up during the meeting, and then he doesn't, and he's like, you know what, they owe you something. And then Johnny Sack's like, yeah, they did. And then the trip back to New Jersey, Tony's like, shut up, because here's the reason why. Them fighting is good because whoever falls down, we take it for ourselves. He's talking about people who are his friends. But again, as Tony has mentioned numerous times, this is the nature of the game. It's the nature of the beast. Like, yes, we are friends, but we are friends in a world where if your demise occurs, I can also prosper from it. I'll be sad, but I can be rich at the exact same time. And I think that's, again, like one of the things that makes Tony such a fascinating character.
I agree.
Yeah. Nigel joined in. He said that, I think I've seen the entirety of The Sopranos through a 20-second clip. Honestly, you could probably, I honestly think you could.
I mean, you could still, I mean, obviously I just watched it, but I have seen clip after clip after clip. I've even watched videos that just come my way.
I'm talking about if you just only did major plot points, you probably can get it. Because, again, a lot of the Sopranos, what I love about this show is a lot of people have their own little fun side quests, and it's beautiful. Like, Chris goes to Hollywood, Paulie, whatever life-affirming trip he has to go on. Janice and every man she has to rail, and then they end up dead. Like, everybody kind of has, and Carmel, who's like very wishy-washy about everything she does and kind of resents Meadow because Meadow is everything she wants to be and she doesn't know how to be it. And it's kind of it's a fascinating, I think a lot of the show comes down to a lot of fascinating dualities of characters and how they are and how they act by status and stuff like that, because it's fascinating. And you could tell which characters are as hard as they are versus the ones that are just a lot of fluff. There's so much fluff to them. They're kind of pussies a little bit.
Yeah.
And they just hide behind certain things and stuff like that. But yeah, no. But anyways, let's
do the hard kills, the hard unalives.
Okay.
So do you want to get into Chris now, or do you want to wait?
I'm gonna say the one that bothered me the most, but I'm not gonna get into it because we talked about it last week. It's Bobby's death. Bobby's death.
Well, I was gonna bring that up too. I cried. That's the only death I cried. I did. I straight cried for that man. I loved Bobby. Dude, he was the nicest bad guy. He really was. He was
so good.
He was. He was good to his kids. He loved his family. He had his train hobby. All the man wanted to do was do his mom shit during the day and build trains on the fucking weekend. Dude, I loved it. I was there for it. And it's poetic that he was killed at the train store holding the blue comet, something that he'd been after his entire life. And when he let his guard down over something he was so passionate about, something that he loved. Hobbies are almost like people to some. You love your hobby as much as you do people. He loved those fucking trains. And he loved that blue comet. And then they killed him when he was holding that thing that he absolutely loved in a store. That was what he loved. That was his break from being in the mob. That was his connection to the real world outside of the mob. And something that he loved. And they gunned him down in the store. Dude, I was so sad when he got killed. I was so upset.
And that's the thing about the theme of the entire show is that the whole you don't hear it coming. Also, like it does, you don't get to stop being in the mob. You're in the mob, and that's it. That is your whole life. Look at the rat that got in the first season. Look at Bobby's dad, who pretty much died doing a hit. You know what I mean? Like all the they go. A lot of these characters go right to their grave. The last thing they do is pretty much be a mobster because it like that. The one thing I loved about the show is that it was so good at showing the consequences of crime.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is all the good shit. You can go out with your friends to a casino, throw down 20 grand on a horse race. Yeah, you could do all this. This is okay. But it comes with people wanting to murder you and kill you and this and that.
And usually for dumb shit. Like that's the thing. It's for dumb shit. Yeah, the money, I get that. Yeah, you fuck somebody over and either they die or lose money or they get taken down. Yeah, I get getting murdered by that. But there could be other dumb shit that you just get like you say the wrong thing, you end up whacked at the end of the night. Like, I mean, there's a lot of dumb shit mobsters get killed for.
You tell a 90-pound mole ass joke, you're gonna get like Ralphie has no idea like how close he was to death in that one scene with the elevator. Because John calls off the hit like in the seconds before that guy pulls the trigger.
Yeah.
And it's like all over a joke. Yeah. Which again, that's one of the things I love about this show because it also shows how much of a sorority it is for these.
Oh yeah.
There's a one scene where Tony's on the phone with Ralph, who's talking to Johnny about apologizing for the joke, and he's like, "Hey, if I got to apologize for something I didn't do, I'll do it." Well, why the fuck would you apologize for something you didn't do if you did do it? And it's just like all this over, like people were gonna die over a joke, and it's just so funny, like how catty they are to each other. And again, I think that's the fun human nature of the show. But also, I think what's great about this show is it's a fictional mob show that occurs in a world where mob shit movies exist, which I love that because like you never watch Goodfellas and they reference a Caggy. I can't remember the Public Enemy #1. Yeah, I mean you don't watch them. They're like watching Sil reference Godfather Part 3, all the stuff with Witch Fair. I think that was such a iconic. Almost like the beginning of meta.
I was just gonna say it was meta without being meta, if that makes sense.
Yes, like and it was the first time we saw mobsters on screen acknowledge mob movies. It was
yeah. Well, hold on. Oh, yeah, I think it was. I was just trying to think. No, yeah, I would agree with that.
If you can analyze this, analyze that. They came out right around the same time. If you want, but
I don't know if I'd put that in the same group, but maybe it belongs there. I don't know.
No, because they referenced Godfather in that, like directly.
Well, yeah, but I don't think that was like a mob movie. So I was just thinking in the context of this conversation about mob movies or mob show referencing mob movie.
Yeah. I mean, I'll digress with analyze that. The only reason why that comes into conversation is because how much when the movie came out and the first season of the show came out, they were very alike. And I think that's why we got less Melfi scenes as the show went on. Because they were trying to go, okay, I think the whole therapist, this and that is good for a movie, but it's not going to sustain for all these seasons. But it's good to have in the background to kind of give context to certain things that Tony believed, which I
do wish that there was a better follow-up with her and Tony, like an actual, real closure final scene. But I know why they didn't do it because they planned to kill him in the thing, so I get that. But I just wish that there was something that really did fully wrap up their relationship. Just like is something I wanted spoon-fed to me, and I didn't get it.
The one thing I think everybody wanted spoon-fed is the Employee of the Month episode. I think everybody wanted Melfi's attacker to be snuffed out by Tony. And
the whole time I was watching that episode, and that's one of the best episodes in my opinion.
It is.
The whole time I'm just like, let Tony kill this guy.
Let's kill
this guy. Like, Why is this not happening? And like now that I've seen the whole series, and understand a lot more, I get why they didn't do it, but I'm sitting here thinking like, no, they absolutely should have. That's something Tony would do. And I get that if he did that, she would have immediately known, and that would have fucked up their relationship. But maybe it didn't. That's where they could have gone to where there could have been something with her to where she developed a different kind of attachment to Tony and looked at him as a protector because she did that to the guy that attacked her, and then that would have dynamically changed their relationship for the rest of the series. You could have done Carmela shit with it. Like, I was kind of waiting for something like that to happen. It never did. I'm okay that it didn't. But I'm also saying it would have been very interesting to do it, and I do wish they would have done something like that.
Yeah, and I get why she didn't do it because, like I said, she was aware she had the power to snuff him out.
Absolutely.
And that, I think, was enough to go, okay, I have the power to do it. I'm not going to do it because I'm better than that.
I get it. I get that.
But all of us had to watch that scene, and it is hard to watch. That scene is purposely filmed not to be an easy scene to watch.
Yeah.
And so it's like when you see that guy with his smug smile in the Employee of the Month plaque, you're like, I hate this guy. I want him to go.
Well, as soon as you see the Employee of the Month like plaque and it's him, I'm just thinking in my head, I can't wait to see this guy die. And then it just like never happened. And I'm like, ugh.
Well, that's the thing about this show is that it has a way of disappointing you, but in a good way. Like
absolutely,
definitely. Like that, because like there are things that this show is so good at disappointing you because it wants to disappoint you because it wants to remind you like, hey, yes, I know you want the happy ending where everything ends up well, but this is not the life these people chose. This is the cold, hard reality of their lives and what they're going to go. And Melfi has to draw the line. Am I going to fall into this world or am I going to stay above this world? And she had to make a very hard decision that I think most people would have gone the other way. And I wouldn't blame them for that, to go that way, to snuff them out. And I think that's kind of what the show is about, making these complicated decisions that are not easy. And the more you watch it, you kind of look at it different ways. Like the one thing I was bringing up, maybe this could be a good way to segue into Chris, because I want to talk about his death.
I'm ready, man.
His death. Okay, so you being the first time watcher, why did Tony kill Chris? I want to hear what you think first.
So to get to where my position is, it's taken many conversations, also with a couple very, very staunch Sopranos fans, half a dozen watch throughs, they know it, right? At first I didn't like it because even though Chris is like one of the biggest shitbags ever, he was one of my favorite characters. He is, and he's such a shitbag. Like when he went into the donut shop and
my God,
shot the guy and shot him in the foot just because he was disrespected.
By the way,
you were next in line. You were not first in line. Calm the fuck down. This man was ordering two things. It would have taken a minute. He would have been out of there. You could have all the time in the world you want. So,
by the way, the actor who plays Vito's in that scene.
What?
The guy who plays Vito?
Yeah.
He's in that scene.
Who is he in that scene?
He's the one guy who comes in and he's about to get his order, but then Chris says, no, you got to fucking leave. Get out of here. Close the sign.
Yeah.
Be back in 15 minutes.
That's Vito? Well, not Vito's character, but the actor playing a different character. I'm going to have to go back and watch that now.
It's so weird. Like, when you see it, you're like,
yeah.
Vito!
Maybe they were just short on extras.
They were.
But he's like, do me up. I'll get on there. That actually makes me respect that guy even more.
Yeah. Nigel, no, he didn't shoot Vito in the foot. Vito was the character, the actor who played Vito was the character that got kicked out of the store. Then he
shot the clerk in the foot after he roughed them up.
Yeah.
So, and then like Chris ruins so many people's lives, dude, with just his bullshit. And I'm just like, God damn, like, why would anyone be this friend with this guy? Why is Adriana with this guy? He beats the shit out of her all the time. Like, oh my God. So then you're just like, Chris, what are you fucking doing? And then the off and on with the drugs and the alcohol and shit. And then you think he's finally cleaning up his act, right? He meets the writer, they write the movie, but then he ruins that guy's life in 2 days. In 48 hours, that man had Law and Order lined up, and Chris ruined his life in 2 days. So that guy had to go back to rehab, get help, get clean again. Then he's back into Hollywood, getting more Hollywood work, doing Chris's bullshit, and then Chris gets addicted again. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
And it kills him.
Ruins every, and then he shot him. And then he shot him in the head at the end. After everything that man did for Chris, and he put up with Chris's bullshit of ruining his life multiple times, Chris shoots him. After he delivers a script that gets the movie made, he shoots him. Chris, what are you doing? So here's why I'm totally fine with the death after I've thought long and hard and had many conversations. It was a mercy kill. Again, we know that Tony looked up to Chris's dad and modeled a lot of his behavior and decision making from Chris's dad. Like we know that. And we know that Tony is a protector of Chris, and he took Chris under his wing. He taught him the business. He made him a made man. Like, without Tony, Chris is not where Chris is. But then Chris is doing the drugs. He's drinking. He's making all these fucking poor decisions. He's getting people killed. He's killing people. He's beating up Adriana all the time. And it's just constantly problem after problem after problem. He's so difficult to manage. And at some point, you just have to cut the dead leg off, like it's not there anymore. Like it's done. And so, he's back on the drugs again, and they get in the car accident because he's fucked up. He's not wearing his seatbelt. And I think Tony just realized that no matter what he did, Chris was never, ever going to straighten out. And if having kids and a wife wasn't going to straighten him out, to where if they were in that car, they probably all would have died. You don't go from there. Plus, he was so fucked up. Like, he clearly had punctured and or collapsed lungs. He probably had brain damage. Like, he was bleeding out of orifices. Like, he probably wasn't going to make it. Anyways, and then when he's begging Tony, like, you got to get me out of here. They can't see that I was on drugs, At that point, Tony's like, we've been down this road so many times. You're so fucked up, you're probably going to die. So instead of everybody finding out you're on drugs again and you kind of going out on a bad note, I'm just going to do it. Because that's one thing that Tony does. It's something that reminds me of it's one of those, it's a dad characteristic. And that's why I love Tony so much, because even though he's a mobster first, family second, Tony does so much dad shit in this show because he's a dad. And a dad would take that dog and take it to the vet and put it down while the rest of the family was at home so that the dad could absorb that and the family didn't have to go through it. And that's what Tony did for Tony B. He put him out because he knew Phil was going to torture the fuck out of him. So Tony took it upon himself to just do it. Chris gets fucked up. He finds out he's on drugs again. Tony just took care of it. He handled the business. Chris was never going to change. He was on the self-destructive path. Things were never going to get any better with him. So Tony just said, you know what? I'm going to end it now. You'll go out on a good note. I'm going to make all this shit up about how you died in the accident. No one's ever going to know. So it was a mercy kill, just like Tony B. And those two are very heavy because that's Tony being a dad. That's Tony taking care of the business so that nobody else has to. Tony is the one to end the lives of these people that he cares about so much. They're literally his family. And Tony takes it upon himself to do it so that somebody else doesn't do it. And I highly respect that.
That is interesting you went that route. I agree with you for most of it. I agree with you. There's one part I disagree on. And it's just me. And again, this is the genius of David Chase. Because I'll probably end up watching the show again and then disagree with my own point that I'm having right now. Because I'm always picking out new shit. I don't.
Oh
think,
yeah.
I don't think the way he killed Tony Blundetto is the exact same as the way he killed Chris. I think the reasoning.
Well, the circumstance is different, but
No, circumstances are different.
my overall point is that he's handling that.
I think. Well, no, I actually think it's another thing. I think Chris's death is selfish. Tony Blundetto's death is a mercy.
I think they're definitely both mercy kills.
Here's the reason why I think it's mercy, and this is the reason why. And it's if you watch like the later episode, like the episode after when he's talking about, he's relieved, like because Chris is a liability. Chris has always been a liability for him, and he has tried to save Chris, and he's even threatened Chris with death before. Because remember, he says, "Okay, Patsy's going to drive you to this place, and they're going to help you. Now, keep in mind, if you need to leave because you need something, just remember, Patsy's got you." And it's like, think about what Patsy does. Patsy murders people, so he's telling you, if you leave that place, he's going to kill you. I think Blundetto. I mean, again, like I said, I think Blundetto was reckless in what he was doing. I think he was reckless.
I don't think he was. I don't think he was. They killed Angelo, and so he killed one of them as revenge for Angelo. I don't think that was bad. Yeah, it was Phil's brother, and that set Phil off. I get that. But Phil's brother killed his dude, so what was he supposed to do?
I know. I agree. What I'm saying is I think Blundetto was more of a circumstantial tragedy that was a mercy death. But I think I think Tony just was like, I think Tony had a moment where he looked at the baby carrot, saw that the tree went through it. I think he kind of had like a moment where he exonerated himself, where he's like, okay, all this has happened. I nearly got killed. The baby could have got killed. Everything has gone wrong. This guy keeps fucking up. I think the universe is now giving me a little bit of permission to just kill him. I think because he feels relieved that he says to Melfi.
I agree with all that, but I still think it's a mercy kill because at the end of the day, he loves Chris. Chris was family.
It's a mercy kill in the sense that, I think it's a mercy kill that has an ulterior motive. I mean,
sure. It was also a way, to your point, for Tony to be like, here's my opportunity. I can argue
that Blundetto's is a cleaner mercy kill with some.
I will agree with that. There you go.
I think Chris's death has always been a complicated death because, like I said, I think because think about it, like after that unflattering role in Cleaver, and he's like, "Oh, this is how Chris views me. Chris views me as this monster, this."
He was really upset about that when everybody started telling him, "Tony, that's you.
That's you. That's you."
Like, he did really get upset about that, didn't he?
Yeah, but and you also kind of sees that he lays off of Chris a lot more, and he goes into Bobby for being
next dude. He does, yeah. He takes it on Bobby, man. Poor Bobby, dude.
Yeah, so I think Chris is just a very interesting. Chris to me was like the rabid dog that he tried to hold on to and tried his best to save it, but there's no way he can. And he's been so selfish in letting it kill other people. Now he's like, okay, I'm going to excuse myself. I just want to be done with you.
I get that too.
Whatever. Yeah. I just want to be done with you. Versus Blundetto was, if I don't kill you, they're going to torture you.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I felt. I felt Chris was like kind of that type of consequence. But again, like I said, that's the best part about the show is that I'll probably watch this again, and my opinion of a death will change. And believe it or not, have you seen Many Saints of Newark yet?
I haven't watched it yet. No.
It's good. Some people say it's inferior to the show. I liked it. I liked it for what it was.
That's pretty much the feedback I've heard. So
yes. I mean, look. I mean, the problem with it is that The Sopranos had people forget this. The Sopranos essentially was the Expendables of mob actors. Think about every mob actor from Godfather, Scar.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Goodfellas. They're in that show, minus Pacino and De Niro. They're pretty much all there, But so when the movie comes around, Many Saints of Newark, it's not that. So it doesn't have that same energy pizzazz that the show had.
Gotcha.
Does it mean it's bad? No, not at all. I thought it actually affected the way I watch the TV show now.
Yeah,
'Cause
I need to watch it, and I will watch that before I then do another watch through because I want to do another watch through of Sopranos.
do it.
I
Watch
will.
watch the movie before you watch the show again, because it will literally change your view on a certain character, and it's kind of fascinating. Because like the first time I watched the show, I was watching the character. I'm like, okay, this character is this, and then I watched the movie, and now I'm like, fuck that character every day on twice on a Sunday, and
Right.
kind of fun because it's again one of those things where David Chase goes, I could spoon feed you the easy answer, or I could disappoint you, and you just have to deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing like
you know what I
I
mean, good
loved
disappointment,
Vito,
not
man.
bad disappointment, good disappointment. Like
Yeah.
disappointment as in like this is just how it's going to shake out. These guys, they're married to the mob. Their lives are pretty much fucked. And this,
Well, that's how I felt about Vito. I loved Vito. I was with him the whole way.
me too.
But I knew it. Like I'm like I need to prepare myself because they're not just gonna let this character go off into the sunset. I'm
No,
like he's gonna get killed. They're either gonna find him or he's gonna go back. I'm like that's just the way it's gonna go down. Like or that his lover is gonna be trammed because they're gonna get to him or something like that.
yeah,
But then they had him go back home, which to me was the dumbest thing possible. But that does play right in with Vito. He's very naive about certain things, which blows my mind. But it got him killed, and I felt the same way about that. I was like, God damn it, here
it's
we go
because
again.
the mob is so much like a toxic family,
Yes, it
and
is. Where
they
you're allowed
make
to kill each other.
yes, it's so funny like how much my wife and I were watching this, and we're like it works like it's ironically also called a family, but it operates exactly like there is this certain like Vito's like, look, I make this much doing construction. I am
Yeah.
a backbone. I'm this. I'm that. I'm untouchable. Money is gonna buy me all the way back in. I got this. I fucking got this.
You
And
don't
then
got it, Vito.
no, and then that one guy fucked him over by taking a huge loan,
Oh
selling
yeah.
him out to Philly, so then he never had to pay it back.
Yep.
Which I was like, that mother. And what I love so much is you don't know who that guy is until you see him in Satriel stirring the thing, and you're like, that son of a bitch.
Ew, fucker.
But again, like I said, we don't know for a fact that he sold him out. But we know enough.
Come on.
We know, but no. What I mean, here's what I mean. We don't have an affirmative confirmation,
I got you.
but we know it was him. We know it. We could bet it the farm on it. It's him. That's what I love about this show is that they won't spoon feed you. There's not going to be some evil monologue where it's like, aha, and that is why I did it. No, they're just, like I said, Ralphie, again, we know Ralphie killed the horse. Does Ralphie actually affirmatively say that? Is there affirmative evidence that he did it? There isn't. It's very circumstantial.
I feel like they pretty much flushed that out.
They did. Look, they did. It's just, it was, what I'm trying to say is, think of the lazy writing that's in Hollywood nowadays. If it was a lazy Hollywood movie, would they have had Ralphie confirm it with his words?
Okay, so here we go. So here's what David Chase said around Ralphie, the fire, and all that. So David Chase said that while the fire was the final catalyst, the real motive stemmed from Ralphie's violent act of killing the stripper to death after she attacked him. Tony was enraged by this and other aspects of Ralphie's behavior, particularly his lack of submission to Tony's authority. So I think that pretty much packages it up. It's not just like Chris, but it's the context of Chris.
Oh, yeah,
I've been looking for a reason to do this, but I haven't gotten it. Now I have my reason to do it. I can do it. And I think that's what Tony was doing with Ralphie. He needed that final, like the nail in the coffin to do it. And that's what the fire was for him. So.
Yes. Oh, no. 100%. 100%. That's exactly what it was. He needed that. But hey, we actually have to hit the hard stop. I'm so sorry. We'll have to do a part 3 to this.
We'll do part 3 next week. We'll keep it going because we still got to talk about like scenes.
Yes.
We got to talk about likes and dislikes about the overall series and stuff, and then we still have to transition into our discussion about us becoming mobsters. I'm really excited to hear, Jesse, how you want to whack people and what type of mobster you would be. Like this will be a very interesting conversation for sure.
This would be very interesting. I'm very and it's very interesting because like I said, I'm from Youngstown, so
Youngstown, the town that time forgot.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it on the next show. But anyways,
more.
We'll talk about it next time. Anyways,
I can't wait to hear about your local Youngstown mob. I'm very excited to hear this story.
Oh, you think Youngstown's just a local mob? You need to do some Youngstown research. Youngstown is a bigger mob than you think.
I fucking can't wait, dude. No, I really can't wait.
I dare you. This is your
I will. I'll look up some stuff. Mob. That way I'm educated.
We'll talk more. But anyways, that's all the time. We'll see you next week. I'm Jesse.
I'm John.
You'll be sitting at the Grown Up Table. Thank you. Have an awesome night, everyone. Take care. All right.